Happy Wednesday, everybody. Time for Wisdom Wednesday. Today I thought I'd talk a little bit about iodine and the benefits that it has for breast health. Iodine is what we call a halide, and if you remember back in chemistry, there was that table, and underneath the halide group there's iodine and chlorine and bromine and fluoride. And all of those have an affinity in the body for specifically receptors that mostly are iodine receptors, just because they have similar properties and are known as halides. So in the body, the most common place that we will see iodine is in the thyroid gland, but the breast is the second leading organ for iodine deposition. And there's some very interesting data about iodine and the benefits that it has for just breast health in general, but perhaps even has major benefits in terms of protection or perhaps keeping women from developing, or even if there is a breast cancer, helping reduce the body burden there. And there are different forms of iodine, but for what we are talking about right now, we're just talking about good old iodine that's either in a liquid form in the form of what's called Lugols, or in an oral form. We have one here that Zymogen makes called Zymodine, or there is one that another company called Optimox makes that's called Iodoral. And what we see with people that take iodine, not in just the small amount that is in, say, a multivitamin, which tends to be around 150 to maybe 250 micrograms. The supplement amount that we're talking about is 12.5 milligrams. Now, it is a water-soluble trace mineral, and so if the body doesn't need it, it will just be eliminated through the urine. So the risk of any major problems with overdosing or any toxic effects is really zero, minimal to really at all. So what I have people do, and especially those of you that are going for mammograms anytime soon, or have major issues or family history with thyroid disease, because there has been noted to be connection with thyroid disease and breast disease, and particularly breast cancer. We know that when we first started looking at this, that Japanese women seem to have very high amounts of iodine in their diet just through seaweed and different forms of marine life that they would eat in their just normal diet. Yet when they came to America and adopted a standard American diet, their incidence of breast cancer went up substantially. So we began to look at iodine, and we've seen that if someone takes iodine quite regularly, that it seems to reduce significantly the amount of breast density there is there, and it also reduces symptoms with fibrocystic disease. So premenopausal women can find great benefit, and they've also seen that the amount of cancer in premenopausal women is significantly higher in iodine deficient women. So we don't understand all the pathophysiology, we don't understand all the aspects of it, but it seems like a really simple thing to do. I know that for many people, I have recommended using at least an iodine supplement in the form of a capsule or a tablet of 12.5 milligrams, which is significantly high, on the order of 1,000 times higher than what you'd find in just a normal multivitamin. But taking that amount really just flushes the body of all other halides that are sitting on iodine receptors, and in particularly in the breast, and it allows the breast to kind of clear up a lot of the fibrocystic changes, the inflammatory changes there, and creates a much better breast to be evaluated with mammography. So it's certainly something that you can do, but there does seem to be some benefits with clearing the breast and using the iodine as far as prevention for breast cancer. So I think that this is still something to do. Now, I recommend taking a tablet daily for a month prior to your mammogram, and then you can just randomly take it once or twice, 3 times a week, and be fine. I know that you can lower the dose a little bit, or perhaps if you take the Iodine, it's a tablet, you can break it in half, or with the Iodine, which is a nice capsule for people who prefer to swallow that. Just once or twice a week is probably adequate to keep a lot of those extra halides away from the receptors and allowing iodine to sit in those receptors that they're there for. We know a lot of the food has changed in our world. They've taken iodine out of salt. They've taken iodine out of the breads that people eat. Not that we should be eating a ton of that anyway. We know that a lot, when you buy a new car, there's a lot of off-gassing that needs to take place with bromide in there. So it's just a really good thing to consider. And could it be the secret sauce for helping us reduce risk? I think it certainly does not appear to have any negative effects, and it's quite readily available. It's easy to take, and I think something that we might want to consider. So if you're interested and need more information, let us know, but you might want to read it just about iodine and breast health, and consider at least the month before a mammogram, taking that to clean up the breast and making it much more visible and hopefully easier for a radiologist, heaven forbid, if there's something there, to pick things up as early as possible, which is really part of what we encourage, is early diagnosis. So just a little bit about iodine and breast health. Hope that's been of benefit to you. You all have a great week. Have a wonderful weekend and fun time celebrating the July 4th holiday. Not sure I'll be able to send anything next week. We're going to be out of town visiting one of my sons in Nashville, so that's going to be fun for us. And you all have a great week and great weekend. Take care.